Gun fam, what's up? It's the Gun Brother. Thanks for tuning in. Wanted to talk today about an article that my man JB John Boo shot me not too long ago, or actually this morning, about an alarming or increase in arrests for gun violations on Capitol Hill. And I will point out some instances as well as talk about how to avoid them. And it's actually pretty simple. They're trying to chalk these up to human error, but there are some states I think that don't really enforce. Actually, I know it because I've been to the states and I've been told by certain officers that they don't really enforce certain things, and that being that firearms are not allowed on federal property, and I know for a fact that it's not always enforced. So here we go. Most of the people say they mistakenly or knowing had the gun in their bag when they got to the Capitol checkpoint. Let's start with the legal aspect of it, or concealed carry laws in DC. Number one, I don't care, and this uptick is being attributed to the increase in tourist traffic. So a lot of these people are from out of town. Whoever's watching this, wherever you are, DC has no reciprocity with your state. You cannot carry in DC without a DC concealed carry permit, period. That's number one, okay? The only people that can, I think Leosa, retired law enforcement in other words, and then obviously active law enforcement. Other than that, you have to have a DC concealed carry permit to carry in DC. So starting with that, that's your baseline. Now, after that, federal grounds are restricted areas. Again, period. So much so that some people all ask, is it worth getting a DC permit because so much of the grounds are federal? Sometimes you'll find yourself on federal grounds and not even realize it. For me, that answer is yes. That's a whole other video that I'm gonna talk about that. So for instance, an Iowa man was accused of carrying a gun in a bag attached to a baby stroller. The gun was loaded with 4 rounds of ammo, spotted at a security checkpoint when he and his family tried to enter. 43-year-old Texas man was stopped while carrying a semi-automatic handgun at an entrance to the visitor center of the U.S. Capitol. Police reports said the man told officers he didn't know the gun was in his bag. So, and that's a tough one. Ignorance is not going to get you, in other words, the definition of the word ignorance or not knowing is not always going to get you out of a situation. You have to know the laws. You have to know the state of your firearm. I can say that there have been times that I've got caught at airport checkpoints, but only with ammo. And that's when I started using dedicated bags for the range and travel, separating that so I wouldn't make that mistake again. And it'd be like 1 round or 2 rounds that I may have taken out of my pocket and thrown in my bag. And I was like, I literally didn't know it was in there, and I would always show my credentials, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. But that's totally different from a firearm. You can't approach, if you approach a checkpoint with a firearm, loaded or unloaded, that's it. You can't do it. So they say he's going to face series of charges, including possession of an unregistered firearm, unlawful possession of ammunition in DC, and the possession of a high-capacity feeding device. Again, DC's magazine capacity is 10 rounds. And I always have to tell people, it does not matter how many rounds you put in the magazine. So one of the things, or one of the ways people always want to work around that, is they want to have a 17 round mag or 15 round mag and put 10 rounds in it. Can't do that. None of that works. If the magazine is a 15 round magazine or plus over 10, it's illegal in DC. The magazine itself is illegal. So he's going to face that charge as well. Let's see. Wednesday, a man pled guilty to a criminal charge weeks after he was stopped with a semi-automatic loaded with 9mm ammunition. I guess they wanted to kind of hype it up. At a checkpoint at the Longworth building, the man first claimed the gun belonged to his wife before he later told officers he had purchased the gun on the street for $600 to protect his family. So all of these incidents, like they said, human error. One guy was like, "Can I just leave?" And I'll put a link to this article. It's WTOP, so that you guys can read it if you want to. You cannot come into DC and carry your firearm, even if your state is constitutional carry, even if you have your concealed carry permit in your state, even if you have Utah, Florida, I don't care what you have, DC does not have reciprocity with anybody else. You have to have your DC, and then on top of that, the stipulations of your DC are going to say there is no concealed carry, you cannot bring your firearm in federal grounds, things like that. You're not going to be able to have your firearm in those areas. So you got to do your research anytime you're going somewhere. Make sure you know what you're doing. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else to point out here. And the charges that these people are getting are serious. This is a felony count of carrying a pistol without a license. The cases are being prosecuted in Superior Court for the District of Columbia. So these are human error there, and it says that the new CBS News has not seen a Capitol Hill gunplay case filed this year in federal court. So that is that's good news for those people. Anytime you go to another area, make sure you read up on the laws in that area so you understand what's going on and you don't get caught up like this. And that's it for that article. So with that being said, the Gun Brothers out. Again, research anytime you travel. DC is not the place to try to get any reciprocity because they don't have any. And I will see you guys next time. All right? Gun Brother is out.